one of them.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
You don't need to live with aches and pains. Visit relieffactor.com today.
On air and on the World Wide Web, this is the Rob Carson Show.
This is the Rob Carson Show. It's Monday, ladies and gentlemen, and this is Graham Plattner's replacement in the state of Maine as Democrat senatorial candidate.
Because we're not from the left, we're not from the right, we're from the bottom.
Yeah.
And we are rising.
There you go. Yeah, not from the right, not from the left, not from the right. Scraping the bottom of the barrel. It is so, oh my God, it's so spectacular. So the Democrats in Maine had a convention, and they are trying to convince the people of Maine that they actually chose their senatorial candidate, which they didn't do. It was a bunch of delegates and a bunch of party apparatchiks, and they've chosen this doofus named Troy Jackson, who I've heard there's some dirt on him that's coming. But anyway, that's their choice. That's their choice. Here's Charles Dingman. His name is Charles Dingman, and he's the the Democrat chair in the state of Maine, talking about the great choice that the people of Maine made, but they didn't.
Look around this room. Look at what Maine Democrats did.
I know. Oh.
And the 17,000 Democrats who
not the 280,000 that voted for Graham Plattner.
Turned out in every county to elect 500 of the delegates in this room.
Yeah.
Understood just what is on the line this year.
The voters had no choice. It was you guys, the Democrat Party once again choosing for the people the candidate that they will have after the consultants chose Graham Plattner. And the Democrats of Maine said, Nazi tattoo, not a big deal. Kick Profile, it's a pedophile dating website. He's had that for about 10 years. He's in his 40s. He's still trying to hit on teenage girls. No problem. Rape allegations, no problem. Oh, wait, he's behind in the polls. Problem. There you go. Oh, my God. How was your weekend? My weekend was good. It was busy. Had a wonderful weekend with my daughter. Went to a hookah bar on Friday and had a cigar. I don't do the hookah. Hookah to me, you ever tried hookah before? It's these flavored cubes of tobacco, I guess, and you put it in this thing. Looks like something you might have had in college to smoke some weed, and it tasted like, to me it tastes like you're smoking a urinal cake. So I said no on the hookah, but I ended up having a cigar and hanging out with a lot of really cool people. And by the way, it was a very urban environment, meaning that I was the only white guy there. It was all black people, and then on the inside of the hookah bar, there were a lot of Middle Eastern people and all of that. But it was fantastic. I had such a great time, and I'm going to tell you, all of the black men that I spoke to, I'll bet you 60 or 70% of them said they're MAGA. They are MAGA supporters. They're conservative. And this Democrat Party, with all their bat guano craziness, have driven them from the Democrat Party. I mean, it was like vitriolic, screw the Democrats, they're nuts kind of stuff. And I think it starts with this war on masculinity. That's a good part of it. The war on the family. That's a good part of it. And all of the failed policies of the Democrat Party. I had a fantastic conversation with a lot of men at that event, and a lot of women too, by the way. I love a lot of women there, and it was quite flirtatious. Thank you very much. It was actually quite wonderful. I got broken up with this weekend. That was funny. I haven't been broken up with a very long time. I imagine she's probably listening. It's okay. It's all right. We weren't really like steady or anything, or we weren't exclusive. But yeah, that happened this weekend. It was the first time in like 30 years I've had a woman say, I'm going back to my ex. Oh, my God, this is my life. This is my life now in Washington, D.C. But actually, it's actually very cool. The only reason I bring it up is because this is my life in 2026 as a man who was a family man who had like 3 minivans. I had 3 minivans. I lived in at least 2 cul-de-sac communities, and I was like the dad who coached baseball and took the kids to soccer practice and all that. And here I am living in a 1-bedroom studio apartment with a spiral staircase, and dating, I guess, a little bit, and then my first breakup kind of in like 35 years. It's just weird. It's just weird. What a weekend. Oh, my God, what a weekend. And here's one of the reasons why I think so many people are leaving the Democrat Party. This is the Democratic Socialists of America co-chair, Megan Romer. Now, this is not going to win, okay? This is not going to win, but you have to pay attention. I saw there was a piece, I think it was in the New York Times, said that Republican voters are not motivated. They're not going to vote. You are full of crap. You are full of absolute crap. The New York Times and other news agencies are trying to convince you, oh, yeah, Republicans aren't motivated to vote. They are not motivated to vote. I hate to tell you this, but MAGA voters are still like 95% behind Donald Trump. The Democrat Party is absolutely broke. And this is what's coming to the Democrat Party.
So we're going to put up on the screen a few of the things that are part of your platform. And I want to ask you, just give me sort of a true or false on these. Abolish the Senate. True. Okay. Replace the presidency and Supreme Court as we now know them. Yep.
Yeah, see, that's not going to friggin' happen because we've all got relatives, maybe even people who are alive today, or maybe they're buried under white crosses made of marble or granite, who fought against this nonsense in the past, and we aren't going to let this. We aren't going to let this happen. You see. This is so utterly ridiculous that it's laughable, but they actually believe that they're going to be able to do this.
Abolish ICE.
Absolutely.
Abolish borders and give amnesty to anyone currently in the U.S. illegally.
As a long-term plan, yep.
Defund the Pentagon.
Absolutely.
Get rid of the Department of Defense. Get rid of the okay, and what is she saying? She's saying an overthrow of the country and the fall of the United States of America. Now, the Democrat Party is going to have to start getting serious about this and saying that these DSA candidates cannot be a part of the Democrat Party. They have to run on their own or disappear into the dustbin of history, because what they are espousing here is seditious. It's seditious. And the Democrat Party is going to have to go, we can't have this in our party, or your party's going to die.
Abolish prisons, at least in large part.
Yeah, again,
I would love to see a convicted rapist move in with Megan Romer. Maybe some murderers move into her building when the prison's closed.
Part of a long-term program, yeah.
Okay, so no prisons. Government or public ownership of most large corporations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. None of that's going to win. None of that is going to happen. It is a pipe dream by a bunch of spoiled, entitled liberal academics. It's kind of interesting. I was reading a piece about who makes up these morons, these people who are part of the new DSA, and they are basically college educated. They have degrees. Many of them have graduate degrees. Listen to this. Strongest backing comes from voters with postgraduate degrees, but lower to middle incomes of $30,000 to $60,000 a year. You can work at IKEA, like my son is doing temporarily, and make $48,000 starting. All right, just $20 an hour is about $48,000 a year. So there's that. So they make $30,000 to $60,000 a year. 80% of members aged 25 or older had bachelor degrees. 45% had household incomes below $60,000. This is unusual because education and income usually substantially positively correlated. In the composite CES data, only 19% of Americans with bachelor's degrees or higher had incomes of below $60,000. So these people, what this is the liberal academics who have gotten these degrees that are woke and worthless. And now they have no skills whatsoever and no ability to compete at all. Common occupations among DSA members include teachers, nonprofit workers, social workers, public sector employees. And what do they have in common? Lots of student debt. So guess what? It's all your problem that they failed. They say that America is a failed state. It is, the dreams are not possible to achieve here, all because they have crappy degrees, they have no skills whatsoever, and they owe a buttload of college debt. Listen to this. Per Educative Data Initiative, graduate student borrowers have an average outstanding debt of $106,000 on 2025 data. This rises to $180,000 with those with doctorates. So this is a group of spoiled, entitled people who have failed at life, who have borrowed money for worthless degrees. They're unlikable, they're detestable, and they're indoctrinated, and they want to overthrow the country. Good luck with that. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't going to happen. Here is, this is kind of interesting, because this is a new poll out about who likes socialism. And they think this is going to win nationally. They think they're going to get rid of the presidency and the Senate and the border, and they're going to get rid of the Department of Defense and the whole deal. Well, not so much.
We've been seeing it in the primary season. Socialists winning Democratic primaries, candidates from the far left. And look at this here. Among Democrats, this is that Fox poll, a majority have a favorable view of socialism. Step outside the...
Yeah, because most of the Democrats who are, Democrats of good standing have no freaking clue about what's going on with this party.
Democratic Party, it's a totally different world.
Yeah, outside the Democrat Party, completely different. Here it is.
Look at independence, socialism, deeply unpopular there.
Yeah, 77% of independents do not think favorably of socialism. And then, of course, Republicans love Donald Trump.
Trump is still very popular with Republicans. Just take a look here. Okay, 21st century own party approval rating, about at this point in second term. We got Trump, we got Obama, we got Bush. Look, they're all fairly popular, but the one who is the most popular, and we have seen this time in and time out, no matter when you look, is Donald John Trump. He's the only one who's over 80%. 83% of Republicans still approve of the job that Donald Trump is doing as president. He still has that magic touch.
Because they know he's the only person who could save the country. There you go. You've got the Democrat Party, as I said. They are doing a death spiral into hell. You've got the Democrat Socialists of America, who espouse that nonsense that I just played for you. And the party is completely bankrupt. But there's more good news. There's more good news. Also, Donald Trump, the White House Correspondents' Dinner, got some audio from that. We've also got Zohran Mamdani. They're having anti-Zohran Mamdani protests in New York. They want to remove him from office, and they don't want him at the 9/11 memorial. And I don't blame him, because he's an anti-Semite, and he hates Israel. So there's that. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Monday edition of The Rob Carson Show.
680 WCBM.
The Rob Carson Show podcast is everywhere. Go to Newsmax.com/listen for details.
So we're going to put up on the screen a few of the things that are part of your platform, and I want to ask you, just give me sort of a true or false on these. Abolish the Senate. True.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Replace the presidency and Supreme Court as we now know them.
Yep.
Abolish ICE.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Abolish borders and give amnesty to anyone currently in the U.S. illegally.
Sure.
As a long-term plan, yep.
Defund the Pentagon.
Absolutely.
Abolish prisons, at least in large part.
Yeah, again, that as part of a long-term program, yeah.
Yeah, you guys are freaking nuts. That's the co-chair of the Democratic Socialists of America. We found out that the people supporting these are intellectual elites with a lot of college debt who have worthless degrees, and some of them only make $30,000 to $60,000 a year. Yeah, that's your good luck with that formula. Good luck with that formula. Mostly white people, by the way. Those who are the people who are supporting the Democrat Socialists of America, who are overtaking the Democrat Party. This was kind of fun. This is a piece in the New York Times and I normally don't read the New York Times. I don't, please, really, no. Shane Goldmacher and Reed Epstein talking about, could be Stein, it's EI, it's Stein. Talking about the Democrat Party inside the phone-throwing drama at the troubled, broke Democrat Party. At the center is Ken Martin, the 53-year-old party chairman who has found himself increasingly isolated, gripped by the fear that he will lose his job and relying on a vanishingly small circle of people he trusts, according to interviews with more than 24 Democrats. Now, the Republicans, Donald Trump controls a $400 million super PAC, and the Republican National Committee is sitting on $130 million. The DNC is $2 million in debt. Trust in Mr. Martin among both donors and party officials was sapped by his handling of the long-promised autopsy of the 2024 election. Last year, he said he would not release the document, but criticism mounted, and he released an incomplete draft. Now, they think they're going to raise money with people who have postgraduate degrees and owe $160,000 in federal student loans and are making between $30,000 and $60,000. Good luck with that. None of the party's problems are more acute than money. For more than a decade, the DNC has transferred millions of dollars every election to sister committees responsible for winning the House and Senate, but the National Party is now so short on cash, even after taking out a $15 million loan last year, that officials have privately conveyed congressional leadership there will be no such transfers in 2026. The DNC has paid more than $700,000 in interest on that loan, averaging more than $75,000 a year. Did they get their loan at Rent-A-Center? I mean, where the hell did they get their loan? Party officials now reckoning with the fact that they must begin to repay $1.66 million of the loan's principal per month starting in January. Otherwise, I guess, I don't know, Troy Jackson gets repossessed. I have no idea what the hell happens. Maybe they'll just take some of the money from Nancy Pelosi with all the insider trading that she's had. And then the Democrat Party has this to offer as well. For instance, you've got Abdul El Sayed, who is a radical Islamist, socialist, wants to socialize medicine, calls the country of Israel a genocidal regime. Okay, so there's your anti-Semitism right there. Wants to wipe Israel off the face of the earth, and he does. Okay, and then here is his competition. Here's the person running against him for the Democrat nomination.
Okay, some of you have seen, there's those cool kids on the internet. They're doing the cool kid chatter. Some of them might be the coastal elites.
This is Haley Stevens.
Making fun of how I talk. Not okay.
Yeah.
Says my governor. But let's be real.
Yeah.
They're making fun of Michigan. They're thinking they're better than us.
Yeah, okay.
And what they don't know is I am your voice. And their jokes and their criticism only makes me fight harder.
There you go. All right, so there's Haley Stevens. I think LCIN's going to get his butt kicked because he's just so completely out of his friggin' mind. I've got some. Oh, here is Abdul El Sayed saying he's going to get rid of medical debt by taking over health care, and we all know how well that works.
And you know what I'd like to do in the U.S. Senate? I'd like to abolish medical debt once and for all. And you know how we do it?
How do we do it?
We finally fulfill the unmet promise of guaranteed health care in this country through Medicare for all.
There you go. So he says he's going to get rid of medical debt by socializing medicine. Now, Hillary Clinton started that back in about 1992. She was working with her husband, Bill, and he was having sex with a lot of women outside of marriage. And she pushed kind of this national health care thing, and he lost both houses of Congress for the first time in 40 years during his first term. Okay, and they've been pushing this crap ever since, and they finally got their Obamacare through against the will of the American people back in 2010, and now the Democrat Party has decided to go further left than Kamala Harris, and Kamala Harris got destroyed in the 2024 election. That on top of that, the Democrat Party is completely broke. It's completely broke. The best advice that I've heard from a Democrat this weekend, John Fetterman.
So for the 2026 midterms, what should your party's strategy and message be?
My strategy should be not be weird. Don't be communist. Don't be weirdo socialists. And don't praise Mao.
Yeah.
And do crazy Now, otherwise, I think it should be a pretty great midterms for us.
Yeah, you'll see. Stop saying so much crazy crap, among other things. This is a Monday edition of The Rob Carson Show. Don't go anywhere. This isn't the end of a fight. It's the start of one. Lioness, the critically acclaimed original series from Taylor Sheridan, returns August 2nd only on Paramount Plus. It's the new season. Hidden networks, foreign operatives, and personal betrayals collide while Joe walks the line between duty and family. Don't miss Lioness, starring Zoe Saldana, Michael Kelly, with Morgan Freeman and Nicole Kidman, streaming August 2nd only on Paramount Plus.
Hi, it's Tony Marino, host of the super popular Newsmax Daily Podcast, a rundown of the day's top headlines and top highlights of Newsmax shows and interviews you may have missed, plus some sports, stock markets, and even some yucks, all packed into about 20 minutes. Search for the Newsmax Daily with me, Tony Marino, on your favorite podcast platform, and check out our entire lineup of great podcasts, including Greg Kelly, Rob Carson, and Jerry Callahan at newsmax.com/listen.
Hey guys, it's Carson for Relief Factor. When it comes to supplements, two things matter most: that it works and that you can trust it. Jim ran out of Relief Factor twice. Both times his ache, stiffness, and pain came back. Once he restarted again, he says he felt better again. You know something's working when you run out of it. I started taking Relief Factor 6 months ago. I ride 30 miles on a Saturday morning on my mountain bike and lift weights every other day, and I feel great. People like Jim make it easy to find out if you'll be the next person telling us Relief Factor help you tackle your daily aches and pains. 3 weeks for just $17.76. Simply go to ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. They will do everything they can to help. We hope you'll be sharing your story with us too. 800-4RELIEF or ReliefFactor.com. Hey guys, it's Carson for Ghost Bed. Do you really want another summer like last summer, barely sleeping because you were too hot all night? People blame summer heat for bad sleep when it really may be their mattress trapping heat. And if you already sleep hot, summer only makes it worse. That's why I switched to Ghost Bed. Helps keep you cool all night, no waking up sweaty, tossing and turning, or throwing the covers off at 2 a.m. Cooling tech is built into every mattress. It's not some expensive upgrade you have to pay extra for. Hot sleepers are some of Ghost Bed's happiest customers. Read the reviews. You get incredible support, less stiffness, deeper sleep, more rested mornings. I got my Ghost Bed about 6 months ago, and it changed my life. Ghost Bed gives you 101 nights to try it at home. You can sleep on it all summer long and feel the difference for yourself. How many more summers are you going to waste on bad sleep? Ghost Bed is currently having their 4th of July sale, offering my audience an extra 10% off. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use the promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson, promo code Carson. We have a special guest, and I mean very special, not because he's a special human being. I mean, he is. He's very special. I think to some people in his life, maybe not so much here. But anyway, James Rosen is our first guest in studio in the Newsmax studios. And this is the first time that we've actually had a studio guest. So go ahead and test the microphone real quick.
I'm grateful to be here. I suppose I should have brought like a bundt cake or something, right?
Yes.
It's my first visit here, etc.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Cake would be nice. I think we've done a lot with a room the size of a guest bedroom.
A guest bedroom. This is a room the size of a treehouse.
Walk-in closet. Now, I will tell you the microphones are a little bit wanky because this is the first time we've actually played. Your mic sounds actually better than mine.
Well, this is as should be, I think.
Yes, it is. But you're the first in-studio guest we've had, and I have two cameras for you guys who are... you guys who are actually streaming. Let me bring down the audio here. We've got to work out a few bugs here.
Have you actually identified me for the listeners and the viewers yet? Have you actually said my name and title and all that kind of thing?
Hold on one second. Okay, there you go. Okay, I apologize, James. We got to work out some bugs here. Go ahead and say your question again.
Have you identified who I am and my title for
this? This is James Rosen, Chief Washington Correspondent for Newsmax. Is
yes.
that okay?
All right.
All right, okay. Brian, I'm going to ask you real quick because this is kind of a trial thing. Can you hear James when he talks on the microphone and see him on the screen?
Well, I'm not looking at the screen, but it sounds fine.
It sounds fine. There you go. And he's not looking at the screen. Okay, well, welcome to the show.
Where is the camera even? I don't even know where this thing is.
Right there.
Right there. Can't hide anything from Ace Reporter over here, right?
There.
Okay.
Yes. Go ahead and wave and say hi to everybody who's
good to be with you all. Rob, Carsonians all.
Yes. Well, this is the first time that I've done a on-camera live guest, and I'm doing the switching and everything.
Right. Wow. And let me tell you, folks, you can't get a complete look at this. And we mentioned earlier that it's a very small space, but in this small space, my friend and colleague Rob Carson built the whole thing himself, down to even putting this this foam padding on the back for soundproofing, and hanging up his special sign, and just getting all the electronics worked out. And honestly, he did such a good job. We were thinking of putting him to work in our other studios here at Newsmax.
Yeah, well, I've had about enough of building for a while, but I want to talk to you a little bit, James, about what's going on in New York. You had a piece in the UK Daily Mail. I haven't had a chance to dig into it because I don't have the membership. It's a Mail Plus article, but you've been writing about what's going on in New York City with protest and finally, by the way, protests against Zohran Mamdani and his, what I do believe is absolute anti-Semitism.
So, yeah, I published an article recently in Daily Mail US. I will immediately after this segment on X, on my feed on X, at James Rosen TV. That's at James Rosen TV. I got to do my Rob Carson radio voice. Of course. I will post a non-paywall link to that article. But in essence, I say that over the past 10 days or so, Mayor Mamdani removed the mask, if you will. Previous generations of socialist leadership over in Europe, when the Soviet Union was ruling much of Europe, they cast themselves as champions of what they called socialism with a happy face. Yeah. And we might consider that Zohran Mamdani is the latest iteration of this, with his youth, his good looks, his media savvy, and so forth, and his social media adaptability. But when he gave an interview to the New York Times about 10 days ago, he said that he was having an active conversation with his municipal attorneys, the lawyers for the city of New York, about whether he could order the NYPD to arrest the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on his next visit to Gotham, which presumably will be in September for the UN General Assembly, which Mr. Netanyahu has attended some 15 times. He then took about 3 days before Mayor Mamdani posted a video, this was July 21, to X, in which he addressed the camera for about 2 minutes and stated glumly that he and the city lawyers had arrived at the determination that after reviewing every possible legal avenue for the arrest, for the slapping of handcuffs on the leader of over 8 million Jews, they had come to the determination that they lacked the legal authority to do so. And my article in the Daily Mail, in essence, said that it remains a mystery as to why it would take Mayor Mamdani and his team of lawyers longer than 30 seconds to arrive at such a conclusion, let alone 3 days or longer. They didn't specify how long the active conversation had been ongoing. Because it is well known to students of international relations that the United States cannot arrest visiting heads of state or high-ranking diplomats when they come here for the UN. The UN is sovereign soil, first of all, in Midtown Manhattan. But secondly, it really comes down to something called host country agreements. And I quoted in the article from an exchange at a State Department press briefing, where the briefer at that time was Victoria Nuland. This was the Obama era. They had just slapped sanctions on Syria's foreign minister for bloody crackdowns in the streets of Syria, and she was asked if this would impinge on the Syrian foreign minister's ability to attend UNGA, the UN General Assembly in New York. And Ms. Nuland, again, speaking for the Obama administration at that time, said, no, we have a host country agreement in place, and that's the same reason why someone, for example, such as the Iranian president at that time, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, who was another bad actor, would not be barred from attending UNGA. Those were the words of an Obama-era spokesperson. And so, again, that it should have taken the mayor this long really shouldn't be surprising in the end, because the entire socialist/communist enterprise has been built at least since the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991 on what I call ahistoricism, which is a fancy William F. Buckley Jr. style word. Ahistoricism, which is to say a conscious turning of a blind eye to the irrefutable results of history every time and in every place that the so-called workers' paradise movement has been tried. We have seen a death toll attributed to socialist and communist governments around the world of 100 million people. And now finally, just not long after that video was posted to X by Mayor Mamdani, we saw a knife-wielding assailant stab a Jewish man on his way out of a synagogue wearing a yarmulke. And one wonders if those kinds of incidents will be, by future historians, added to this tally of 100 million deaths and countless injuries, robberies, and tortures and beatings and incarcerations, etc.
Well, this is not a surprise. when it comes to the use of language, we've heard the expression stochastic terror being used. We've seen it being meted out with the murder of Charlie Kirk, the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, and the demonization of the Jewish people, and particularly in places like New York City, where attacks on Jewish people nationwide have increased dramatically. We saw after October the 7th an inorganic movement that actually made us try to forget October 7th ever happened, and by every measure, by every metric, by every thing that he has done with regard to Israel, particularly the fact that he targeted and made, for some inane and insane reason, the arrest of Benjamin Netanyahu one of his priorities. It should say everything you need to know about Zohran Mamdani.
I just looked at Mayor Mamdani's inauguration address, which he delivered on the 1st of January.
Yes.
There he pledged to fight to improve the lives of New Yorkers, as he put it,
yes.
not the lives of Gazans or West Bank residents.
Yes.
He pledged to act on behalf of all 8.5 million of his constituents, not
Yeah.
just those who voted for him.
Yeah.
And nowhere in that address did he mention Israel.
Yeah.
A recent report by the Success Academy network of charter schools found that some 400,000 students in New York City, which is approximately half the total of them, are attending failing schools. And what's a failing school? A failing school is one where more than half of the students did not pass reading, English or math or both on the last year's state exams. So it seems to me Mamdani has more urgent imperatives, in fact those that are directly statutorily tied to his office, than to go meddling in foreign affairs, and particularly with authority he does not have.
Well, let's take a break and come back, because we've got much more I want to talk about, including the anti-Mamdani protests. Also, there is a group of people signing a petition to ban him from the 9/11 memorial, the 25th anniversary, which I think is great, by the way. Let's take a break and come back. You are listening to The Rob Carson Show. No, I got it for a birthday present when I was 34. Yeah. All right, here we go. Here we go. I'm going to play a soundbite real quick here, I think. Hold on.
The long and winding road.
Joining me in the studio is James Rosen. He is the chief Washington correspondent, despite what it says on the screen, by the way. When it says something like chief White House reporter or something, and no, that's an insult. That's an insult to the great James Rosen.
Not at all.
It is an absolute insult. Shame on you. Shame on you, my producer, for doing that. But no, we've been talking about what's going on in New York City. The election of Zohran Mamdani, which some are actually questioning the validity of the election. We won't do that. But obviously, elected by a very small and vocal socialist movement, anti-Semitic movement, and now he's the mayor of New York City. He has shown us in many ways that he is an anti-Semite. His wife also, by the way, who literally cheered on October the 7th, who disappeared July the 4th and went over to a Muslim retreat on July the 4th while we were celebrating our 250th year. I mean, there's a certain moment you got to say it quacks like a duck. It is a duck. This guy, one of the main focuses of the last couple of weeks has been to arrest Benjamin Netanyahu without mentioning some of the other despots in the world. All of these things add up to me a very dangerous person. And then, James Rosen, you also add this up with the Democrat Party going way socialist and leaning into anti-Semitism. I think that happened in Germany a while back.
You know, particularly since we're talking about New York, what this brings to mind for me, and I am a New York native. I was born in Brooklyn and raised on Staten Island.
Lovely.
Attended public schools in New York City up through the end of high school. I worked very hard to lose my New York accent, but would you like to hear it? Would you like to hear it?
Sure.
What are you doing, lady? Is going dancing? Huh? Is is looking to catch a beating? Tough guy.
I think you need to do that every once in a while. I think you need to do that every once in a while.
Oh, I heard Tommy's down on Father Capodanno Boulevard throwing out beatings. Huh? Say it again, maybe I'm... What? So anyway,
yes.
Insofar as we're talking about New York, and we're talking about what appears to be a kind of... a fringe kind of mentality that has literally taken power, not just taken root, but taken power. It reminds me of what the great New Yorker Tom Wolfe wrote so many years ago in the year 1970. He called it radical chic. It's the moment when that which is radical becomes chic, trendy, fashionable.
Yeah.
And you combine this with anti-Semitism, which the great historian Daniel Goldhagen has called the devil that never dies. And that's what we're witnessing right now.
And I believe, wasn't it Lagerfeld who did the Nazi uniforms? So it's very chic, very fashionable looking, all of that stuff. So there is a petition going to ban Zohran Mamdani, the mayor of New York City, from the 9/11 ceremony, the 25th anniversary. What do you suppose, obviously purely opinion, but what do you suppose the possibility that it will be successful, or that the mayor would appear to do what I would consider to be the honorable thing and not attend?
I don't know who runs the 9/11 memorial, and that is where your answer resides.
Okay.
So who would have the authority to issue the invitations and likewise to withhold them? But it's inconceivable to me that the sitting mayor of New York City, whoever he or she would be disinvited from a 9/11 event. But certainly all eyes would be on Zohran Mamdani at such an event, and to see how he threads that needle. One thinks of his biological and electoral ally in the lady from Minnesota, Ilhan Omar, Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, who famously once was asked about September 11, and who said some people did some things.
Yes, of course. And then, of course, there are also this Chevalier character who is very anti-Semitic.
A protege of Mayor Mamdani.
And literally has said that the United States deserved 9/11. And it is remarkable. I mean, you look at, they were very young people when it happened. But to say such a thing is, we cannot ever let that be acceptable. But it appears to be that way with some of these people.
Just by way of small correction, I would the lady we're talking about, Daria Lisa
Chevalier.
Well, I'm missing the middle name. Just like AOC, Avila Chevalier. Yeah. She has three names. She is, the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, which powered Mamdani's rise to power and also was instrumental in AOC, and now with Chevalier, and also Milat Kiros, who just defeated a longtime Democratic incumbent to represent Denver. They're creating a kind of a legion of mini AOC bots, if you will. And there's a playbook at hand here. But in the case of Milat Kiros, when she was asked if 9/11 was inevitable for the United States, an inevitable outcome, she said insofar as the U.S. was conducting certain activities in the Middle East, yes. That is different from saying it is deserved. But to say that something is, it's reminiscent of when Malcolm X was asked about the assassination of President Kennedy, and he called it a case of the chickens coming home to roost. Even Elijah Muhammad, the leader of the radical black Muslims at the time, sanctioned Malcolm X for that statement.
Well, we will see what happens. I am optimistic that the Democrat Party is going to have to do something about the DSA. They're going to have to decide whether they want them to be part of the Democrat Party or not. If they remain part of the Democrat Party, they will take over the Democrat Party, they will own the Democrat Party, and they will destroy the Democrat Party.
And you saw what the California governor, Gavin Newsom, who is one of the front runners if he decides to run in 2028 for the presidential nomination, when asked about DSA, simply said that he wants a big tent party. So that would seem to indicate how the Democratic Party is heeding your call for some kind of reckoning, in short, by avoiding one.
Well, this is what I like to say, inviting the vampire in. What happens when you invite the vampire in? The vampire kills everybody in the house.
You offer him something to drink. Either you're a good host or you're not.
Right here. That's kind of the juggler. Right, James, thank you for being on the show. The first live guest, it will get better, but I think we did pretty well. It's great to have you on.
Honored to be here.
All right, very good. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. That was fun.
Listen,
Excellent.
were you forced into getting
Next
a
time
solar
you'll have
contract and
headphones,
now
they'll
you
play
just
audio.
don't want it anymore?
Next time we'll
Maybe
get
the
this
solar
figured
company
out.
misled
But
you. Or is your solar contract buried with hidden fees? Are you not saving the amount of money you thought you would on your energy costs?
You need
Don't
to do
worry.
that.
At
We
the
need to make that
Solar
a
Exit
benchmark.
Hotline,
You
we can
do
help
one
you
story
cancel your solar
with your
contract,
accent.
even if the panels are already installed. Our experienced legal team will review your contract and help you cancel it, possibly saving you thousands of dollars. You got to call right now for complete details. So listen, if you're not happy with your solar contract for any reason, we are here to help you cancel it. Call the
Sorry,
Solar
guys.
Exit Hotline
I was talking to
now
James Rosen
for immediate options
about how
to
good he
help
was.
you exit your solar
I
contract.
apologize. Thank
this
you.
call is 100% free.
hello, Rob, radio audio.
877
Oh, there we go. Got it. Sorry. I'm very distracted, obviously, as I always am, but I do appreciate you joining me and your patience. And your patience here. Hello, Timothy. Hello, Valentina. Hello, R. DeSanti and Scarecrow and all of that. I'm just talking to Jim, or to James Rosen. He was just doing his New York accent. It's absolutely spectacular. What a treat to have him on, and to have him here. This will get ironed out. Obviously, we have some technical issues that are not where they need to be, but they will be. And every day that I do this. Every day that I do this, I learn a little bit more. So here we go. I got to see what we got here. Oh yeah. Here we go. I'm going to play John Fetterman again because he's really funny. Here we go, guys. Again, thanks for your patience. I'm trying to do all of this myself, and sometimes things will settle down and iron out and all that stuff. So. All right, it's time for me to talk again.
About 3:15.
So for the 2026 midterms, what should your party's strategy and message be?
My strategy should be not be weird. Don't be communist. Don't be weirdo socialists. And don't praise Mao and do crazy shit. Now, otherwise, I think it should be a pretty great midterms for us as long as we stop saying crazy shit or supporting kinds of things like that.
Well, that isn't going anywhere because they're doubling down on it. This is Victor Davis Hanson talking about the DSA takeover.
This party is a
Jacobin, 1960s, Symbolese, Liberation, Weatherman, all that conglomeration of anti-civilizational stuff. And when you see the agenda of the Democratic Socialists, I mean, it's very funny to have these young kids start mouthing off, well, we don't like the name president. We're going to get rid of that. And, the Senate, that's a wealthy person. That's not fair. We're just going to get rid of that.
Yeah.
And then we'll expand the House, and that'll be just like a radical Athenian whatever they say is the law. And, of course, we'll get rid of the Supreme Court. We'll get rid of the president. And they have all these ideas, and you think, do you think that Hamilton and Jefferson and all these people died for you people?
Yeah.
Do you think that we went 250 years and we fought everywhere from Iwo Jima all the way to Belleau Wood to Gettysburg so that you people could just walk in, many of them from first or second generation immigration, lecturing us? Oh, I think your system is no good, and I've decided that when we take power, we're going to get rid of the Constitution, and the founders are all racist, and we're just going to say, okay, we got your. No, that's not going to happen.
There you go. That is Victor Davis Hansen. More from him after the top of the hour. It's not going to happen. I started saying in 2020, sooner or later we're going to have to spank these children. We're going to have to deliver a spanking to them. Homeboys, hillbillies, Hebrews. That's my expression. I came up with homeboys, hillbillies, and Hebrews when we started seeing anti-Semitic protests in New York City around Ground Zero, and I said this has to stop. Homeboys, hillbillies, Hebrews are going to have to come together and end this nonsense. Zohran Mamdani saying that he's asking people to go out and protest when Benjamin Netanyahu comes to New York City with the United Nations. He is fomenting stochastic terror. People have already started attacking Jews. The attacks have grown exponentially over the last couple of years. He is inviting violence by saying go out and protest when Benjamin Netanyahu comes to New York City. Homeboys, hillbillies, Hebrews, veterans, police, we need to end this nonsense. The children are going to have a spanking, not only at the ballot box. Hour number 2 of the Rob Carson Show, live from Washington, D.C., coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
Washington, D.C. The most interesting, informative, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Yes, it is the Rob Carson Show, hour number 2 of the show. A lot of balls in the air, ladies and gentlemen. We had our first live in-studio guest last hour. In the last 2 weeks, I have built a studio here in Washington, D.C., in the Newsmax studio. They gave me this little room, and there was a metal desk in it, and I said, here, hold my beer. and have since soundproofed it. We've got 2 desks in here. We've got 2 cameras, soon to be 3. We'll have a bird's eye view camera in here as well. A main mic and a guest mic and a whole bunch of other stuff. And I'm running it myself, so it's one of those things. And I just thank the opportunity. Thank Chris Ruddy and Newsmax for the opportunity to be here in Washington, D.C. It has just been, I got to tell you, oof. It has been a hell of a journey, I'll just tell you, from leaving Kansas City less than a year ago to having a studio in Old Town Alexandria, Virginia, finding out the building's going to be torn down. God has a dark sense of humor. Then being invited to move here to the Washington, D.C. Bureau of Newsmax. It's been a delight, actually. I got to meet everybody here. Got to have James Rosen here in the studio. We'll get all of the technical things straightened out as things go. But what an honor to be here. So much has happened, guys. So much has happened. I've got to go to the Capitol. I got a personal tour with Mike Johnson, House Speaker, and a bunch of other conservative influencers. I'm an influencer. Hey, Mom, look, I'm an influencer. And I've had a chance to meet a lot of people, and more are coming. And I just want you to know that you're here with me, and I'm here to bring this place to you. So there you go. Zohran Mamdani, those big grocery stores, those government-run grocery stores that he promised. They're coming, kids. It's just going to take them 3 years to be here.
All of this leaves too many New Yorkers feeling like groceries are out of reach. And that is frankly unacceptable.
You know what would help with the groceries? If you didn't have to pay 50% of your income to taxes. Okay, if you didn't have to pay so many taxes, whether it be state, local, or federal taxes, imagine what you could do. They never say a damned thing, because some people in New York City, depending on how much you make, pay 60% income tax. Okay? How about you frickin' stop taking so much money from us to pay for stupid grocery stores that are going to go out of business?
Acceptable, which is why city government is stepping in to make people's lives more affordable. Today, I am proud to announce a collection of essential staples that will be predictably 30% cheaper at all 5.
This is going to be just like Cuba. You know what you get in Cuba? You know what you get every month? I don't remember. It's 1 pound of beans and 5 pounds of rice, or vice versa. That's what you get. That's what's going to hear. So he's talking about staples. He's talking about Soviet-run grocery stores where you stand in line for a loaf of bread.
Of our city-run grocery stores.
Yay, that's neat. It's going to fail. Yay.
This core set of goods will include all fresh produce, meat, and seafood, along with 20 other essential items like cheese, milk, and bread.
It's going to be absolute crap.
Here's how it will work. Once a month, our 5 city-run grocery stores will set prices for this core set of goods at 30% below typical retail prices. No exceptions, no gimmicks.
Yeah, they'll be bankrupt. They will go bankrupt.
The savings will last for the entire month.
Sure.
That means no weekly fluctuations or sticker shock at the checkout line.
Sure.
Not for our seniors living on fixed incomes, nor for the parents who rely on a regular supply of...
Yeah, the first store won't open until 2029. 3 years. Some of those seniors will be dead by then. Yeah. Meanwhile, in Chicago, and listen, it was funny because when I lived in Kansas City, I was out tooling around looking for some apartments for my daughter, and I stopped by this grocery store, and I noticed there was nobody in the parking lot in the middle of the afternoon, and I thought, what the hell, just stop in. So I go in. And it was like an old-timey Western when you walk into the bar and everybody just, the piano stops playing and everybody just turns their heads. And I walked in, I'm like, what? And I look in front of me, and there are empty bins where produce was, and you see like a head of lettuce over here. There were flies. You could hear the flies buzzing. The deli was closed. There was no deli at all, so you couldn't get any fresh sliced meats, any like your rotisserie chicken. None of that was available. The dang shelves were empty, and I come to find out, I didn't realize it until like a week after I visited. That was the Kansas City version of a socialized grocery store. They put $22 million into that piece of crap, and it went out of business because it was a piece of crap. And it's a stupid idea that's been tried before. 7 Save-A-Lot grocery stores, Chicago's South and West Sides, shut down this weekend, leaving residents scrambling for alternatives, even after the city invested $13 million in taxpayer money in them.
Closed, leaving residents scrambling, and the city is blaming Trump's cuts to the SNAP program, despite pumping $13 million worth
If your grocery store only survives because of SNAP benefits, you are going to be in some serious trouble.
Taxpayer money into them. It's unbelievable. Now these grocery stores, of course, are reaching out for private investment.
By the way, a good deal of the goods in the grocery store were stolen. Okay, so they couldn't keep up with all the theft because the Democrat Party in the summer 2020 said that, Black Lives Matter, and then you could steal $1,000 without getting and get a misdemeanor charge, get a slap on the wrist. You could take $1,000. And then they said, because of George Floyd, you could just go out and rob stores blind. Take whatever you want. Take whatever you want. How well did that end up?
Get to that, but just don't take it from us. Take it from the Chicago residents who are dealing with it and impacted directly.
More of the same crap from the Democrat Party in a Democrat-run city.
Listen to this.
It's going to be an impact on the community and people close nearby that they won't be able to get necessities and what they need at a convenience for them. So.
It's just opened up. Now it's about to close down again. We have nothing.
Because the model of socialized groceries always fails.
So I don't know what we're going to do. There's nothing around here.
I mean, it's going to affect the community for sure. Everybody going to have to try.
You know what it just did? They created a food desert, as Michelle Obama likes to call it. It's a food desert. No, it's a crappy neighborhood. It's a crappy neighborhood where Democrats have been in charge, and they've destroyed the schools, and they've destroyed the nuclear family, and they keep people dependent on government. They keep them ignorant because of the terrible schools. They give them a pittance. They encourage grievance. They say that they're going to give them reparations. They never do. They promise the sun, the moon, and the stars, and then the day of the election, after the black vote gets to Democrats, they leave some money on the dresser, but they stop leaving money on the dresser. And this will fail again and again and again and again. And Zohran Mamdani is already on the hot seat and failing, and it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. Here is, I'm going to get into this Mamdani thing. Here is... In New York City, Zohran Mamdani, there's a whole bunch of anti-Zohran Mamdani protests, and I knew this was coming, and I'm glad it's coming, because he needs to be driven from office. You may recall a couple years ago I said, homeboys, hillbillies, and Hebrews, we're going to have to come together to save our country and to save the Jewish people in our country. Because after October the 7th, there was an AstroTurf bought and paid for communist Marxist attempt to erase Israel's second Holocaust. And then we saw a rise of anti-Semitism on campus. And then we saw rampant anti-Semitism growing around the country and in New York City, where the Muslim call to prayer is happening in Times Square. And Zohran Mamdani said that he wanted to have Benjamin Netanyahu arrested when he came to the United States, and now Zohran Mamdani is encouraging his radical followers, his Marxist, the green-red revolution, to protest when he gets here. And there will be violence because that's how the left is. That's how the left is. But New Yorkers have had enough of his crap already, just 6 months into his miserable administration.
And organizers were telling me today they expect around 400 to 500 demonstrators coming out here to voice their opposition to some of Mayor Mamdani's policies, especially when it comes to the Jewish community here in New York City, especially in the wake of these really horrible stabbing attack that took place a couple of days ago on the Upper West Side. We're on the Upper West Side right now.
He said Allah Akbar before he stabbed a couple people, and one of them was a Jew.
In my hand, some of the literature that's being handed out here. As you can see, this www.firemamdani.com. So the anger, the vitriol at the mayor is very palpable.
Yeah, and it should be. Here's a report about the anti-Semitic stabbing that took place in New York City, where the guy screamed Allahu Akbar.
Communities say his words are too little, too late. CB Cotton, live in New York City with more on that story. CB.
Hey, John. So Mayor Zohran Mamdani is repeatedly denouncing hate and anti-Semitism after this stream of public criticism from community leaders who say his rhetoric on Israel has created division. This criticism follows this week's stabbing attack. The suspect, Raul Morales, was arraigned last night on 2 counts of attempted murder, 2 counts of assault, and 1 count of attempted.
And this is growing nationwide as the Democrat Party leans into the Democrat Socialist movement, which is Marxist, communist, and anti-Semitic, by the way. And anti-Semitic. This is Zohran Mamdani in 2023 saying that Israel was not a place or a country.
For so many people, Israel is not a place, it is not a country, it's an idea. And you see that in so many politicians' answers to the questions around Israel, is their answers were written 20, 30 years ago. They speak to a reality that does not exist.
Right.
They pledge fealty to the idea of a 2-state solution, irrespective of the fact that a second state for Palestinians is physically impossible because it's not even a contiguous piece of land.
No, they got to Gaza, and instead of creating Eden, they decided to make it into a living hell and elect Hamas to power, and then put missile batteries and tunnels under schools and hospitals. So if Israel attacked them, there would be civilian casualties, and then they could blame Israel. And that's been going on that forever. Here is Benjamin Netanyahu talking about Zohran Mamdani and his wife.
I mean, what Mamdani is supporting, his wife, his family, he celebrated October 7th massacre, the worst massacre against Jews since the Holocaust. He's basically supporting, he tries to say.
His wife is a rabid anti-Semite.
That he doesn't, but he's supporting the Hamas murderers who raped our women, then beheaded them, burnt babies alive, slaughtered our men, took innocent people hostages, 251 men, women, children, babies. That's who he's supporting.
Yeah.
And they're the ones who are responsible for genocide. They would have killed.
If it walks like a duck.
Their charter says, and as they themselves proclaimed, they would have killed every single Jew in Israel and every Jew in the world. So the genocide charge belongs to our enemies. What we're doing is try to fight this genocidal terrorist organization that embeds itself among civilians, prevents us from moving the civilians out of harm's way.
Yes.
They use gunpoint. That's where the real criminals are.
Yeah.
But Mamdani is aligning himself with the criminals.
Yeah, and I told you when he was elected. What did I tell you when he was elected? What is he first? Go ahead. What did I say? He was Islamist first. He was Islamist first. And everything I said was right. Kaboom. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
in Harford County.
If I don't like it, if they don't behave, we'll go right back to dropping bombs right smack in the middle of their head.
Come on. There you go. I'm going to try and get to some of the audio from Donald Trump last night, the White House Correspondent Center. Some people said he was mean-spirited. Yeah, I'd be a little mean-spirited, too, if the first White House Correspondents' dinner he decided to attend, somebody tried to murder him. So there's that. So, Caitlin Collins, how about grow some? How about grow up a little bit? Just because you got picked on a little bit and compared to Dylan Mulvaney. Too bad, so sad, to be quite honest. I would have kind of liked to have helped write the president's speech at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. I mean that, really. I would have liked to have tried. I thought some of his jokes were pretty good, but he wasn't as funny as he normally is. But again, I've never had somebody try to assassinate me 4 times, including the last time that I hosted the White House Correspondents' Dinner. So there is that. James in Albuquerque wants to comment about the DSA. James, welcome to the Rob Carson Show. What's your thoughts?
Hey, Rob, give me a minute because I got a few things to say, if you don't mind.
It is my show. Just realize that. Go ahead.
I know it is. I know.
All right.
Look, this is what I like to abolish, the politicians, because I live in a state, taxation without representation.
Yeah.
Okay. All these politicians, why do they have a $3 million budget? We vote for one politician, that's it. That's where they're screwing us with money. Why, when a person pays off their house and they still got to pay property taxes, they should eliminate property taxes. Mainly red states should support that. So you don't own your house when you pay it off. That's another thing. And when federal taxes were implemented in this country, they were supposed to be temporary.
Yeah.
And you mentioned it earlier. We're taxed on everything.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
You know, these communists that are running in this country,
yes,
it could happen, Rob. And the reason why, because the United States is not mentioned in the Bible, so it could happen here. And the politicians in Washington and around this country have created these communist people that want to run our government. Mm-hmm. So I blame the Republicans and the Democrats that have screwed up this country for the past 50, if not longer, years.
Well, this is why the MAGA movement exists, brother. This is why the MAGA movement exists. It is not Republican. The MAGA movement is anti-establishment Republican. It has changed the Republican Party. The Democrat Party is being changed by the Democratic Socialists of America, which is the opposite.
Well, you take Thune, for example. He's stopping the MAGA agenda.
Who is this?
He's a Republican. He's a rhino. I know he's a rhino.
Who is it? Who?
But he's no better than McConnell.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Well, you know what? Here's what I got to say. We got to win the midterms. MAGA is still very strong. The Democrat Party.
I'm part of MAGA, Rob.
Oh, there you go.
I'm 100% behind MAGA.
Don't get wobbly.
But the politicians on our side are not listening to us. 80% of Republican MAGA want that voter ID passed. We want illegal aliens to stop voting in this country.
Yes, sir.
Until they step up to the plate, which they're not going to.
Well,
that will continue to happen. And we will go down that road of socialism if these people don't get off their you-know-what.
Yeah.
But they're not doing anything for us, Rob, the Republicans.
I know.
Just the MAGA. MAGA's all for it.
James, here's what I'm going to tell you. Here's what I'm going to tell you in parting, of course. James, here's what I'm going to say in parting. Don't get wobbly. Stay strong.
I'm not wobbly.
Eisenhower would have never told the troops, I don't know, we might not be able to take Omaha Beach. I'm not so sure about it. Same goes with the midterms.
If you're a Christian.
Yes. Okay, I will.
It could happen. We're not mentioned in the Bible, Rob.
Well, I'm not sure exactly what that means, but I do appreciate you. The Bible certainly inspired the Bill of Rights and the Constitution of the United States of America. Thanks for the call, James. Gotta go. This is kind of interesting. I saw this piece from Kalshi Politics. Don't know what this is. It's talking about the race for Senate in the state of Texas against Ken Paxton versus James Tallarico. And the quote is, Texas is such a red state that a good Christian man is losing to an adulterer. Okay. James Tallarico is not a good Christian man. He says he's a good Christian man. He says that he is a man of the cloth, but he believes that God is non-binary. There are 6 genders, and children should be able to be sexually mutilated for the guise of pretending like they're the opposite sex. Texas State Senate winner odds right now: Paxton at 56%, James Tallarico at 44%. And I think Paxton's going to mop the floor with him. To be quite honest, I do want to play this. This is a little bit of. Should I do that? No. I've got so much on the plate right now. I mentioned I wanted to do some Trump from the White House Correspondents Center. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, we'll do a quick joke from no, actually we don't have time. We'll have to wait. I apologize. We'll have to wait. I've got a ton of audio from the weekend. We've got General Blaine Holt joining us next. We're going to talk a little bit about Iran. I want to get his thoughts on the demonization of Israel by political candidates, calling it a genocidal state and all of that stuff. He is always fascinating, always amazing. So we'll just leave it at that, and we will come back with the General in just a moment. You're listening to The Rob Carson Show. Hey guys, it's Carson for Ghost Bed. Do you really want another summer like last summer, barely sleeping because you were too hot all night? People blame summer heat for bad sleep when it really may be their mattress trapping heat. And if you already sleep hot, summer only makes it worse. That's why I switched to Ghost Bed. Helps keep you cool all night, no waking up sweaty, tossing and turning, or throwing the covers off at 2 a.m. Cooling tech is built into every mattress. It's not some expensive upgrade you have to pay extra for. Hot sleepers are some of Ghost Bed's happiest customers. Read the reviews. You get incredible support, less stiffness, deeper sleep, more rested mornings. I got my Ghost Bed about 6 months ago, and it changed my life. Ghost Bed gives you 101 nights to try it at home. You can sleep on it all summer long and feel the difference for yourself. How many more summers are you going to waste on bad sleep? Ghost Bed is currently having their 4th of July sale, offering my audience an extra 10% off. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use the promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson, promo code Carson.
Hi, it's Tony Marino, host of the super popular Newsmax Daily Podcast, a rundown of the day's top headlines and top highlights of Newsmax shows and interviews you may have missed, plus some sports, stock markets, and even some yucks, all packed into about 20 minutes. Search for the Newsmax Daily with me, Tony Marino, on your favorite podcast platform, and check out our entire lineup of great podcasts, including Greg Kelly, Rob Carson, and Jerry Callahan at newsmax.com/listen.
This isn't the end of a fight. It's the start of one. Lioness, the critically acclaimed original series from Taylor Sheridan, returns August 2nd only on Paramount+. It's the new season. Hidden networks, foreign operatives, and personal betrayals collide while Joe walks the line between duty and family. Don't miss Lioness, starring Zoe Saldana, Michael Kelly, with Morgan Freeman and Nicole Kidman, streaming August 2nd only on Paramount+. Hey guys, it's Carson for Relief Factor. When it comes to supplements, 2 things matter most: that it works and that you can trust it. I trust Relief Factor. We hear from people every single day whose lives have changed And of course, we'd like you to hear a few of their stories. Mark, for instance, was in tears from his daily hand joint discomfort. But after a week on Relief Factor, he felt 50% better. Now he barely even notices any pain. I can attest to this. It used to hurt getting up and out of chairs or even off the bench press at the gym. Not so much anymore. People like Mark make it easy to find out if you'll be the next person telling us a Relief Factor story and how it gave you your life back. 3 weeks now for just $17.76. Simply go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. They'll do everything they can to help. We hope you'll be sharing your story to relieffactor.com or 800-4RELIEF. All right, before we introduce our special guest, Blaine Holt, you know that Haley Stevens, that woman they got running against Abdul El Sayed in Michigan? She talks kind of funny. Here she is, by the way, actually talking funny.
Okay, some of you have seen, there's those cool kids on the internet. They're doing the cool kids.
Well, it appears, and this has just been posted by Tim Young, that she's faking the accent. Listen.
Oversight, intelligence, judiciary are going to be taking up those matters through hearings and different investigations.
This is her some time ago.
And those committees are going to do their work, and I am laser focused on my committees of jurisdiction. I worked really hard to get on those committees for Michigan and for my constituents.
You know who I sound like? I sound like the people who I talk to in Michigan who are getting screwed right now.
Wow, it's like the opposite of Kamala Harris when she gets all urban. It is so perfect. Oh, my God, it's so perfect. Joining us on the Newsmax hotline, Brigadier General retired from the U.S. Air Force C-17 commander, host of the Dangerous Intellectual podcast and friend of the show, Blaine Holt. How are you, sir?
I am doing great. You just can't make up tomorrow's news. You can't
I swear to
possibly even try.
Dude, I have said this. The reason why conservative comedy is ascending is because the left can't be taken seriously anymore. You cannot take these people. That woman is like talking like Chris Farley in a van down by the river, and she's faking it. She's fake. It's magnificent. Oh my God.
It's a complete circus, but Hillary started it, man. Hillary, when she started her, I'm going down to the South to placate Southerners, I'm
in no ways tired.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It was like running your fingernails against a chalkboard.
It would be like me going to my hometown and going, "Hey, how y'all doing? My name's Rob Carson." This is kind of stupid. It's just appropriating. Just ridiculous. We got a lot of things to talk about with Iran, but I want to get your thoughts on a couple of things that are near and dear to both of our hearts because you helped to wage the war against radical Islam. But you've got Zohran Mamdani, who has pledged that for some odd reason, number one on his priority list was trying to arrest Benjamin Netanyahu for international war crimes. He wears his anti-Semitism on his sleeve, and now now people are asking that he be removed from office. We'll see if that's successful. And then also are asking that he not attend the 9/11 25th anniversary. I'd like your thoughts on this man declaring that, and the DSA declaring Israel a genocidal regime and all of the sundry nonsense associated with it in New York.
He's a disgusting, vile man, but more importantly, besides his bigotry, his racism, his insensitivity towards the diversity that is New York, rather than being a unifier, some of the mayors of New York that I would be politically diametrically opposed to have been great uniters of the entire city. And he's anything but that. But first and foremost, what everybody should see when they look at Mamdani is they should see a communist.
Yes.
They should see a guy who in every way, facet, or form is an absolute Bolshevik who wants to see this country, in fact, not just New York City, go the way of the Marxists. And it would be repulsive to have him go attend the 9/11 thing. He's emblematic that we did not win that war. We did not put a stake in the heart of violent extremist Islam. In fact, we lost it by virtue of the fact that he's even the mayor of New York. And all of the 4 years of unchecked migration and folks who can vote in New York who aren't even citizens, that guys like Jerry Nadler have defended for the longest time. New York has got to get out of the tailspin that it's in, but I don't know that they could make it worse than they've done with Zohran Mamdani.
I want you to hear this DSA co-chair, Megan Romer, as someone who devoted his life to military service for our Defense Department, for our Department of Defense, now Department of War. Listen to this.
So we're going to put up on the screen a few of the things that are part of your platform, and I want to ask you, just give me sort of a true or false on these. Abolish the Senate. True. Okay. Replace the presidency and Supreme Court as we now know them. Yep. Abolish ICE. Absolutely. Abolish borders and give amnesty to anyone currently in the U.S. illegally. As a long-term plan, yep. Defund the Pentagon. Absolutely.
Okay. Now, to me, that sounds like sedition. That sounds like overthrowing the United States, letting the United States fall to whoever would attempt to take over the United States of America. Your thoughts?
Yeah, so one of the questions when you get a security clearance and you're interviewed for a security clearance is, have you ever or do you now advocate the overthrow of the American government? Well, how would she answer anything other than yes? And the other part of that is, she's advocating for the destruction of the United States of America. And so, she may have freedom of speech to say those things on the air, but it's quite a different matter when you're in the employ of the American taxpayer who expects you to uphold an oath to the Constitution of the United States. And when we get footloose and fancy-free with this stuff and we think that these things are not important or that it's some sort of romantic view of an oath or loyalty to the Constitution and the country, that's when we get ourselves into danger. These people are dangerous. They mean what they say. Should take them seriously. We should have taken them seriously back in the 60s when Saul Alinsky wrote Rules for Radicals. Mm-hmm. But this is where it's at, and the world's communists have designs on the United States. And don't think that there's not foreign influence behind them, because there is.
100%. What do you think? And normally we usually talk things military, but I do respect your political opinions as well. This is clearly a civil war in the Democrat Party. They're trying to be cool about it. You've got Bernie Sanders legitimately campaigning against Democrat candidates supported by Hakeem Jeffries. They're trying to be cool about it. I think what's going to have to happen, whether it does or not, is that the Democrat Party is going to have to insist the Democratic Socialists of America cannot exist in the Democrat Party. That's going to happen if the Democrat Party is going to survive. Right now, it doesn't appear to have that kind of forward-moving momentum, but I'm beginning to see a little bit of it. What are your thoughts of what's happening in the Democrat Party, and where are they going to go? Is it going to be absolute takeover by the DSA, curb stomping in the midterms, or is the Democrat Party going to have some, I doubt it, balls to say no?
Yeah, they're probably on a path to their terminal end as a party, because not only do you have the communists that have really kind of hijacked that party for the last 15, 20 years.
Yeah. They've
been kowtowed to by the so-called traditional Democrats who are just as corrupt as they can be. So the Hillarys, your Pelosi's, they have basically kowtowed to them to say, we're just going to keep this whole thing together and keep the machine going. It's going to blow up in their face. But here's the other side of that coin. There is no aisle in D.C. The Republicans need to play up and act like Republicans.
Yes.
And what they do is that they have a marketing message that just says, well, we're not as bad as those guys.
No.
I'm sorry, that's not inspiring. It doesn't run a country. And all of your oversight hearings where you turn on the lights, ask some embarrassing questions, and then turn them off and nothing happens, and you don't support your president from your party, they're just as bad, and they're heading to their terminal end if they keep it up.
All right, we're going to take a break and come back. I want to talk a little bit about Iran, what's going on there with Brigadier General Blaine Holt, DangerousIntellectuals.com. By the way, DangerousIntellectuals.com. Let's take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show.
FM in Harford County.
People are very nice people, but trying to talk to Mayor Mamdani is like trying to talk to the IRGC, okay? This guy is a
terrorist.
Whoa.
That's the bottom line. I'll say it. You don't want to say it. I'll say it. He's a terrorist. He's a jihadist. He hates the Jewish people. He hates America. He hates the Italian people. He hates the Irish people. He hates the German people. Unless you're Muslim, Mayor Mamdani has no use for you. He is a horrible person and maybe has perpetrated the worst American and Jewish hate in the history of
Great Sid Rosenberg on Fox, and they just about crapped a brick on the couch.
This country. Those two people stabbed the other day in the Airport side of New York City. That blood is on his hands. That blood is on your hands, Mayor Mamdani.
Whoa.
We got to find a way to get this guy out of here. Maybe Dr. Emily Wolf is right. Maybe that election wasn't what it looked like on paper. Maybe he really didn't win. But either way, this guy is the worst thing to happen to New York politics, maybe in the history of our state. He's a lowlife.
I mean, I think you may be a bit over your skis in labeling him a terrorist, and you're probably going to get flagged for that.
Why?
Let me ask you this, because New Yorkers elected this guy.
Who cares?
They knew everything about him before. Like, this is predictable. You talked about predictability. This is a predictable.
Griff, let me ask you this. The Hamas guys that are in Qatar right now, they've never put on an explosive vest. They've never shot anybody. Would you consider those guys terrorists? Because I would. Okay, so his ideologies are in line with the terrorists. Mahmoud Khalil is a campus terrorist. You don't have to kill somebody to be a terrorist. You have to share the ideology. That's what this guy is.
That is Sid Rosenberg, I got to tell you. And I freaking love it. And Griff Jenkins immediately apologized. And they're trying to cover their illegal rear ends with Fox. But I think it's about damn time that we woke up to this nonsense. We've allowed this bullcrap. I remember when you remember Blaine Holt. You remember when George Bush said, we need to know why they hate us. No, we never friggin' needed to know why they hated us. They killed 3,000 people. They took down 2 buildings. Screw them. We've had enough of this nonsense. We can't. And now it's just grown. We've got these call to prayer, and anti-Israel protests at ground zero. And it's about time that people like Sid Rosenberg and the rest of us said, screw this, we're taking this crap down.
President Bush never really did understand history very well. He certainly didn't understand how the Moors rolled into Spain, and they've had designs on the West ever since. What are you, new? Sid Rosenberg's awesome, and what was really cool for me, and I saw that interview, was looking at the guests and their jaws hitting the floor live as they're like, we are in such big trouble. Management is going to be in our chili in 9 nanoseconds. We have lost control of this. And Brother Sid, I love Brother Sid. He's just lighting up the boards. And it was just like, hey, this is how every New Yorker feels.
Yes.
You're headquartered here in New York. You might want to get on board with the vibe of the city. Just saying. Yeah,
because we've had enough. I've been saying the homeboys, hillbillies, and Hebrews need to come together and end this freaking nonsense. This includes veterans. This needs cops. This means longshoremen. This means any man with testosterone in his system who loves America. We've got to put an end to this nonsense. I mean, I've just had bloody enough of it, to be quite honest. Let's move on to what's happening in Iran. We've taken a couple days off after a pummeling lasting about, 12 or 13 days. What is happening right now? What do you think is going to happen? Donald Trump saying he's about to get out the big stick.
Yeah, it's the moron that said to the stupid Times, we're out of bullets, and so we had to stop the war for a few days. First off, we don't talk about American logistics. It's pretty daggum classified. Maybe you should turn yourself into authorities.
Yeah.
The second thing is, no, we don't run out and stop a war for 3 days and magically the bullets reappear. We're fine. Yes. But then, and I listen to people trying to make cogent arguments out of this, and I'm just like, okay, we've reached a new level of stupid. But here's where we're at. The president's intelligently holding off, hitting the brakes. Let's watch and see what we've done so far.
Gotcha.
How bad did we decrement the IRGC? How close are they to being in a place where they're vulnerable to the population overrunning them?
Yeah.
Why don't we see where the intelligence takes us? Check in with our friends on the ground in the burgeoning Free Iranian forces who are ready to go. Why don't we wait and do that, and then let's see what our allies are doing. Let's kind of see how they're talking with each other. Check the markets, the oil futures market. And then go, you know what? These guys are disingenuous. Go step on a gas and go get them again.
Now, by the way, aren't there other Arab states that are flying sorties?
Yeah, they are flying sorties. The Saudis are, especially because the Houthis are stupid enough to go, oh, we're almost out of business. We better get on it. And then the other part is NATO needs a golden invitation to go, hey, looks like it's getting safer here all the time. Maybe a Belgian minesweeper would be okay now. Maybe a couple of Italian ships down here patrolling the straits would be okay. Maybe it's safe enough to do that now. And again, it's a trap that President Trump lays for them to go, what kind of allies are you really? And aren't these your vital interests that we're protecting?
Well, I always know that we're winning when the Democrats want to do another war powers resolution because they want to snatch victory. Yeah. They want to snatch victory. That's just exactly what they want to do. Listen, we got to run, brother. Blaine Holt, tell everybody where they can find your glorious podcast, Dangerous Intellectuals.
Yeah, come to dangerousintellectuals.com. I've got Gordon Chang on today.
Oh, come on.
And we're talking about China and why the dragon might be a little sick and you don't need to be so worried about him. And then come to newsmax.com on the insiders page. I got a brand new Sovereigntist versus Globalist article for you, and I'd love to know what you think.
All right, brother. I appreciate you. Have a glorious rest of your week. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. All right. Killed all the audio. Now I'm going to talk to you. Hi, guys. How are you? Oh, crazy day. Crazy day. Gordon Chang. Gordon is great. Autocannon. How are you? Good to see you. Watching. Let me check my iris here real quick. I apologize. I'm going to check my iris. My Brio iris. It's a little bit bright in here. I'm going to bring down the temperature just a skosh. And the brightness just a skoosh. There you go. That's a little better. Hi, kids. How are you? Yeah, I run everything here. My God in heaven, I run everything. Hello, Leslie Lady Hawk. Hello, Scott Davies. All of you guys. Hope you're having a nice time with the show today. We had James Rosen on a little while ago. Not perfect, but we had 2 cameras going and everything. So not too bad for a guy running everything himself. Not too bad. Not too bad for a guy running everything himself, and I am running everything myself. Anyway, we got next here. I want to play that Griff Jenkins apology. Oh, it's funny. I might have to play that too. All right, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get what I got coming up next going here, guys. Had you got a nice weekend? You know what I did this weekend? Are you ready for this? I got a pedicure. I got a pedicure. My daughter said, "Dad, you need a pedicure." I'm like, I've never had a freaking pedicure. I've never had a pedicure in my life. And I went and got a pedicure with my daughter. And you know what? Ain't nothing wrong with a cute Vietnamese girl rubbing your feet. That's all I'm going to tell you right now. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. That's that 345 here.
We know there are a lot of heated feelings around this war, and last hour, while discussing the role anti-Israel sentiment is playing in the rise of anti-Semitism, one of our guests labeled New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani as a, quote, terrorist. Now, that word carries an extremely serious meaning and should not be used freely, and it's important we distinguish between strong political criticism and factual allegations.
That is Griff Jenkins on Fox News. Probably got the Red Riot Act after Sid Rosenberg went on and said that Zohran Mamdani was a terrorist. I thought it was pretty funny, actually. Jim Gossett.
Homeboys, hillbillies, and Hebrews are Rob Carson's friends.
We're the ones who got to kick Zohran and his followers' butts.
Better believe that they'll be friends to the end.
And the Democratic Socialists of America, thank you.
A new coalition to promote freedom. They're all about liberty. The perfect trio to combat the left and look out for you and me.
Come on!
Mamas, please let your babies grow up to be homeboys. Hillbillies and Hebrews is who you should raise. You'll receive nothing but absolute praise.
That's right, that's right.
Homeboys, hillbillies, and Hebrews are saving this country. They love this land and they'll give you a hand. We need to give them our thanks.
Come on.
Homeboys, hillbillies, and Hebrews are friends to this nation.
Come on.
They've got our back when we're
Under attack. Homeboys, hillbillies, Hebrews. This includes handgun owners and Hispanics and housewives and homeowners and Americans who love America, and we're sick and damn tired of these punks like Zohran Mamdani coming in and running roughshod over the country. This is a small group of awful individuals, and we're going to kick their butts. Victor Davis Hanson on the DHS takeover America. That's not going to happen.
This party is a Jacobin, 1960s, Symbolese, Liberation, Weatherman, all that conglomeration of anti-civilizational stuff. And when you see the agenda of the Democratic Socialists, I mean, it's very funny to have these young kids start mouthing off, well, we don't like the name president, we're going to get rid of that. And, you know, the Senate, that's a wealthy person, that's not fair, we're just going to get rid of that. And then we'll expand the House, and that'll be just like a radical Athenian whatever they say is the law. And, of course, we'll get rid of the Supreme Court, we'll get rid of the president, and they have all these ideas, and you think, do you think that Hamilton and Jefferson and all these people died for you people? Do you think that we went 250 years and we fought everywhere from Iwo Jima all the way to Belleau Wood to Gettysburg so that you people could just walk in, many of them from first or second generation immigration, lecturing us? Oh, I think your system is no good, and I've decided that when we take power, we're going to get rid of the Constitution, and the founders are all racist, and we're just going to say...
Yeah, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You picked the wrong year to try to take over America, and you're going to get your ass kicked clean up between your shoulders. There you go. Last hour of the Rob Carson Show coming up. Don't go anywhere.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
You don't need to live with aches and pains. Visit relieffactor.com today.
Hold it now.
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is hour number 3 of the Rob Carson Show on a Monday, already the 27th of July. Summer is just flying by. I just found out my daughter's going to be going back to Kansas City in like 2 weeks. It went very quickly. I really enjoyed the summer with my kid, and my dog, my mom's dog, whom I let my daughter have. And it's been delightful. There have been times, a little headbutting going on, but overall pretty darn nice. She convinced me yesterday to go get a pedicure. I've never had a pedicure before. Now I'm not, I don't know. I like to cook and stuff like that, and so I'm not necessarily, lumberjack, but I'm a pretty masculine guy, pretty masculine guy. I like to, still can bench press my own weight and then some, and all of that. And she said, you need a pedicure. I said, why the hell do I need a pedicure? He goes, Dad, your toes. Dad. Now my toes aren't, I don't have gnarly troll toes. They're not dreadful, but there are times that I let the nails grow a little bit longer than they should. They're not green. I don't have that toenail fungus. I've seen people with toenail fungus like, what the hell am I? My God, you can make mushroom soup out of your feet. It's awful, terrible. But my toes are not bad. My feet are not that bad. I don't really have a lot of calluses because I don't have to wear chick shoes. Girls' shoes are terrible. The girls' shoes are awful because they shred your feet. You get all sorts of weird calluses. My mother used to use a cheese grater on her dang feet and then these girls' shoes are crushing the little toe out of existence. Your what was your little pinky toe almost doesn't exist anymore. With most women, it's kind of weird. It's being crushed out of it. You effectively have 4 toes, women, and then whatever that thing is on the end there, and the nail barely exists anymore. I have a feeling it's going to be gone in a generation. We're going to have 4-toed women everywhere, except for in the WNBA and professional ladies golf. But and softball. Other than that, being crushed out of existence. So I go get a pedicure, and the thing is, so I'm like, I want her to sit next to me to get the pedicure because I feel foolish sitting here as a man, and I know maybe I shouldn't. Whatever. I just never have had a pedicure before. So I feel kind of foolish, and I go in, and guess what she does? You know what she does? She abandons me and goes get a manicure. So she makes me go in and get the pedicure while she goes in the other room and gets a manicure. I'm like, well, you could have come in here and give me something to talk to. So a little Vietnamese woman, very cute, probably in her 20s, Vietnamese woman, proceeds to do my pedicure. And I'll just tell you right now, worth every penny of it. I mean, what's not to like about a really cute Asian girl massaging your toes and your calves? Thank you very much. And then, doing the little soapy thing and doing the tickly thing and then doing the shreddy thing with the toe, whatever, all the skin flying off and everything. It was quite enjoyable. It was, and my toes and my feet are as soft as a baby's bottom. It was, does it make me less of a man to say that I want to do it again? Does it make me less of a man to say that I want to do it again? I don't think so. And yes, there was a foot massage, Timothy 39 on Rumble Chat. Thank you very much. Sport Tech, Rob, what color did they paint your Tootsies? I did not let them paint my toenails. She was giving me the menu. She's giving me the menu, and every one of them says toenail polish at the end. I said, we are not going to paint my toenails. We're not going to do clear coat. We're not going to do anything. But and it's funny because I am okay. Is it odd for someone my age to still be ticklish? I could actually tickle myself above my kidneys and my toes, and my feet, and I'm like, and I was. She had me, and I'm sitting there just like biting my hand, going trying not to laugh. But it was quite enjoyable. I'm going to do it again next month, man. What the hell? I'm not married. I live by myself, and I don't have a lot of fun. So what the hell? Why not? Why the hell not? Oh, so the White House Correspondents' Dinner was rescheduled over the weekend, and Donald Trump, did some speaking at it, and he's got a little bit of criticism because he was harsh. He was real harsh at Caitlin Collins. Well, Caitlin Collins is real harsh towards him, by the way, and a lot of the media are. They're complete D words for Richard when it comes to Donald Trump. 95% of the news is negative. They never call out people when people call Donald Trump a Nazi or whatever. They blamed his near assassination in Butler on him, among other things. And then, of course, the last White House Correspondents' Dinner, a person who was driven insane by the rhetoric of the left and the liberal media tried to charge the stage and kill Donald Trump and members of his administration. Okay, so I'm thinking maybe too bad, so sad that he made fun of you a little bit there, Caitlin Collins.
But they'll learn their lesson. But I want to personally congratulate CNN's Caitlin Collins on receiving her award. It was all about me. It's a fake. She shouldn't get the award. It was a fake, but I didn't mind. I said, Caitlin, congratulations. But it was fake. There's no question about it. But she's a young, attractive woman. She never smiles.
Never smiled, no.
I said, Caitlin, do you ever smile? Smile. You have a nice position. You're at CNN Fake News. You should be a happy person. So smile, Caitlin. Just smile. But we attack, and I thought Caitlin...
These lines would kill it at a MAGA rally.
Really made it big with a major new sponsorship, but then I informed her that it wasn't her on the Bud Light can. It was Dylan Mulvaney.
Oh, my God. He confused Caitlin Collins or made a joke about her looking like Dylan Mulvaney, the transgendered Bud Light spokesperson, and everybody got all butthurt about it. Whatever. Who cares? Welcome to it. It was a little bit of a roast. It was funny. Because, again, these would rock at a MAGA rally. It would, but he's sitting in this room of people who just freaking hate him. Just hate him. Now, I have played rooms before, and I've done some open mic stuff. And there are nights that you own the room, and there are nights you just can't wait to get off stage. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. He did have a couple good lines. I would have... If I would have written his monologue, I would have done a few things a little bit differently. But I thought some of it was pretty good. Here he is going after, mentioning the fact that he was, the last White House Correspondents' Dinner just about a month and a half ago. Somebody tried to run in and kill him and his administration.
But after hearing the gunshots, many people yelled, "Get down, get down," which caused Nicki Minaj to start twerking. You believe it?
Yeah, because you hear, get down, get down, get down. See, he was making a joke about music.
Get down.
Get down. Get down tonight, baby.
She's the only one that really understood what that meant.
Oh, my God, they were actually laughing at that one.
It's quite an evening.
There you go.
But tonight we come back together to answer that heinous attack with unwavering resolve. And every one of us here this evening to show that in America, we do not yield to political violence.
Yeah, my line would have been, so tonight we're only serving wine, no shots. See, I'm going to throw that out there. That would have been a good line. That would have been a good line. No shots allowed. Okay, that's But I write comedy too. It's one of the things I do. Here's a little bit more. Oh, this is Donald Trump talking about. And this is something that I would have gone for. I would have done a little bit more with it. The fact that when Donald Trump is no longer around, the media will have no jobs because all they do is report negative news. I was thinking about this weekend. I was thinking out loud as I was working out and doing stuff. And I would have said something like, okay, I would have pretended like I was in a newsroom. Okay. And I would say, I have made your life so easy, news media. Here's a typical editorial meeting at one of your networks every single morning. Here it is. Okay, guys, here's what we got to do. Everything that Donald Trump does is bad, even when it's good. Okay, do we got that? Do we got that? Do we got that? Okay, great. What's on the agenda today? Donald Trump's coming up with saving accounts for children, so when they're 18 years old, they'll have $300,000 in the bank, so they won't have any student debt. That's bad. Okay, you got it? That's bad. What do you got over there? Well, Donald Trump has just lowered the prices of prescription drugs, sometimes by 400%. Why is that bad? Why is that bad? Because Donald Trump did it. There you go. Okay, southern border's closed. Nobody's coming across the southern border. Is that good or bad? It's bad. Find out an angle to make it bad. That's what I've done with that. But here's what Donald Trump did with it.
People have no idea how lucky you are. When I'm gone, you're all going to be broke. Your business model is going to be finished. No, it's true.
It's true.
When I'm not around, you're going to be broke.
Yeah.
There's not going to be anybody to report on. Nobody gives a damn about anybody else. The New York Times the other day had 5 stories about me.
This is funny.
Before I got into politics, in my whole life,
yes,
I had 7 front-page stories. This is years of success. I think 6 were good, 1 was bad.
Yeah.
I had 5 stories, 7, 5 good. Yeah, I had a total of 7 stories on the front page of the New York Times. That's not bad.
He was very popular until he ended the leftist attempted takeover of America that started in the 1960s.
Now all different topics, all bad, everything bad. But here we are. Here we are. In fact, when I'm finished, I'm going right back to the Oval Office. So I have to be doing okay. But we are all...
Yeah, unlike Joe Biden, who was on vacation 40% of the time, and then was on vacation 60% of the time after he was replaced by Kamala Harris. There you go. Here is Brian Stelter complaining that Donald Trump has destroyed the trust in media.
Scott's point that from a business standpoint, yes, outlets like the New York Times have gained subscribers thanks to the public's interest in all things Trump. That's absolutely true. But the damage that Trump has done, both in his first term and now in his second term, in terms of trust in media, that has been enormous. Hard to calculate, but it is definitely there.
No, here's what destroyed the trust in media. Are you ready for some? You know what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to save it for the other side of the break. I'm going to explain how the media destroyed the trust in media, and it is absolutely irrefutable, and it had nothing to do with Donald Trump, and I'm going to share that coming up. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Deported. 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 Get him out. Ready? Are you ready? Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Get the hell out of here. Deported. deported. Get him out. Ready? Are you ready? Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Get the hell out of here.
The news on Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
Gotta rejoin.
Gotta rejoin.
Relentlessly slowing the spread of the stupid every day. It's the Rob Carson Show.
Scott's point that from a business standpoint, yes, outlets like the New York Times have gained subscribers thanks to the public's interest in all things Trump. That's absolutely true. But the damage that Trump has done, both in his first term and now in his second term, in terms of trust in media, that has been enormous. Hard to calculate, but it is definitely there.
Yeah, and here is why. I give you example number one.
Republicans keep saying Biden doesn't need Congress. He can stop what's happening at the border all by himself. Can you fact check that for us? Because we here all know that's not true.
Republicans have been saying, largely wrongly, right, because saying that the president can close the border unilaterally on his own. The president actually doesn't have the authority under law to do that.
There's only so much President Biden can do with executive action, and he did try to do whatever he could.
They actually are doing everything they can.
Okay, so there's the media lying, saying that Joe Biden couldn't do anything about the border. How do we know this? Because Donald Trump was able to do it autonomously when he became the president via executive order. That's example number one. Example number two.
Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden is the best Biden ever.
She knows so long as she was 9.
In fact, I think he's better than he's ever been.
President Biden has a photographic memory. His understanding and mastery of a complicated geopolitical situation, remarkable.
He is sharp, intensely probing, and detailed.
That was example number two. Listen, I've got about 50 of these. I'm only going to do a couple. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you right now. I'm got about 50 of them. They lied about Hunter Biden's laptop. They said it was Russia, hoax. They lied about the COVID origins, all of that. The necessity of closing. They lied about Black Lives Matter. They lied about, I can go on and on and on. It wasn't Donald Trump that did this to the media. The media screwed itself. One more example of how the media destroyed our trust in the media.
They were conspiring with Russians. Not colluding. Let's just not use the word colluding. They were conspiring with the Russians. This is a conspiracy. So no collusion, okay, no collusion. A conspiracy, a criminal conspiracy, possibly.
No,
the bottom line allegation of this unproven dossier is that Russia didn't just attack our election. They did so with the knowledge of and support of the Trump campaign. That the Trump folks were in on it. That they knew what Russia was doing while they were doing it, and they continued.
Yeah, there you go. There's just a couple of examples of the media, and they've only gotten worse because every story that comes out of them, every positive that Donald Trump does in office is a negative, including bringing murder rate down to historic lows, lowest in 126 years, crime dropping all over the world, $19 trillion in new investment, manufacturing returning into America, 8 peace deals in the Middle East, and not a damn good thing to say about what we're doing in Iran, among other things. That's why you've lost the credibility there, Humpty Dumpty, and that's why you don't have a full-time job at CNN anymore, you damn fool. There you go. I said it. Gosh darn it, I said it. What do we want to talk about next? What do we want to talk about? At the bottom of the hour, we're going to be talking to Doug Burns about a couple of things, including a federal judge striking down an Illinois law giving in-state tuition to illegal aliens. There's that. And then a closure of immigration courts and Donald Trump firing immigration judges. I think it's kind of cool. Alan Dershowitz was talking about the Democratic Socialists of America. And you may recall that I told you that when was the last time that socialism and anti-Semitism came together, and how did it end up? Well, it happened in Nazi Germany, and it didn't end very well for the Jews. And you've got a guy who was a congressman in New York, Dan Goldman, just beaten by a rabid anti-Semite Democrat socialist, and went into a coffee shop, and he and his family were kicked out of the coffee shop because they're Zionists. Okay, sounds a little bit kind of leaning into maybe even Kristallnacht a little bit there. And I don't say these things, I don't do bombast for bombast's sake. You know this as well as I do. I do a show that is entertaining, informative, can motivate you every once in a while, but I don't do bombast for bombast's sake. I don't say things to get play on social media, although I do get some social media play just because I say some good stuff. But this is Alan Dershowitz. He's Jewish, in case you didn't figure it out from the last name, talking about the Democrat Party and where they're headed.
I am trying my best to prevent the Democrats from winning the midterms. I want the Republicans to win the midterms. I don't want AOC to be a chairman of a department. I don't want Liz Warren to be the chairman of a committee. I don't want Bernie Sanders to have more power. The only way to do that is to vote Republican. Now, I don't agree with everything in the Republican platform. I'm not happy with some of the policies they have, but you pick between the lesser of the two evils, and there's no question in my mind today the Democrats are the evil party in America.
Uh-oh.
They are very similar to what we saw in Germany in 1932. Some of them, not all of them. You got a person like Fetterman. If he were the Democratic Party, I'd become a major contributor to the Democratic Party. But he's not the Democratic Party anymore. And he, in fact, said yesterday he would quit the Democratic Party. He himself, senator from Pennsylvania, would quit if they became the anti-Israel party, which they're becoming. They have Trump derangement syndrome. Anything Trump does is wrong. Anything against Trump must be right. That's not in the interests of the American people.
There you go, 100%. This is Zohran Mamdani in 2020 talking about getting rid of the police. He's the mayor of New York City.
The demand of $1 billion is not because that is the amount of money that will solve everything. It comes out of an understanding that policing is something that does not create safety.
Yeah, it does.
And what we need to do is reinvest into things that are proven indicators and creators of safety.
Like what?
And the city council budget did not do that. And it's just mind-blowing. They cut 1 out of 4 cadet classes next year. The headcount of the police department will go up next year.
This man-child is the mayor of New York City, and he is trying to usher in a Democrat socialist, take over the Democrat Party. I'm beginning to see, like, you know, when you light a campfire and you get the embers kind of going, you blow on them a little bit. I'm seeing a little bit in the Democrat Party. I'm seeing some people kind of waking up, saying, you know what? We're going to have to chase these DSA candidates out of the party. I don't know if it's going to happen before the midterms. It would be the only thing that saved the Democrat Party. They're still going to get killed in the midterms, by the way. Yeah, I said it out loud. I don't even care. Doug Burns, a former federal prosecutor, joins us on the other side of the break. Don't go anywhere. This isn't the end of a fight. It's the start of one. Lioness, the critically acclaimed original series from Taylor Sheridan, returns August 2nd only on Paramount+. It's the new season. Hidden networks, foreign operatives, and personal betrayals collide while Joe walks the line between duty and family. Don't miss Lioness, starring Zoe Saldana, Michael Kelly, with Morgan Freeman and Nicole Kidman, streaming August 2nd only on Paramount+.
Houthis, goodbye. Houthis, you'll die. Your killing days are over. You're gonna need more than a four-leaf clover. Houthis, you're through. No one feels bad for you. Wiping you out, ending all doubt. If you're destroyed, I doubt that anybody would pout. Houthis, goodbye. And I'm sure you know why. Trump's bombing you. What will you do? Ending your reign of terror is overdue. Houthis, they're on the run. Houthis are done.
Hey guys, it's Carson for Relief Factor. When it comes to supplements, two things matter most: that it works and that you can trust it. I trust Relief Factor. We hear from people every single day whose lives have changed. And of course, we'd like you to hear a few of their stories. Mark, for instance, was in tears from his daily hand joint discomfort. But after a week on Relief Factor, he felt 50% better. Now he barely even notices any pain. I can attest to this. It used to hurt getting up and out of chairs or even off the bench press at the gym. Not so much anymore. People like Mark make it easy to find out if you'll be the next person telling us a Relief Factor story and how it gave you your life back. 3 weeks now for just $17.76. Simply go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. They'll do everything they can to help. We hope you'll be sharing your story too. relieffactor.com or 800-4RELIEF. Hey guys, it's Carson for Ghost Bed. Do you really want another summer like last summer, barely sleeping because you were too hot all night? People blame summer heat for bad sleep when it really may be their mattress trapping heat. And if you already sleep hot, summer only makes it worse. That's why I switched to Ghost Bed. Helps keep you cool all night, no waking up sweaty, tossing and turning, or throwing the covers off at 2 a.m. Cooling tech is built into every mattress. It's not some expensive upgrade you have to pay extra for. Hot sleepers are some of Ghost Bed's happiest customers. Read the reviews. You get incredible support, less stiffness, deeper sleep, more rested mornings. I got my Ghost Bed about 6 months ago, and it changed my life. Ghost Bed gives you 101 nights to try it at home. You can sleep on it all summer long and feel the difference for yourself. How many more summers are you going to waste on bad sleep? Ghost Bed is currently having their 4th of July sale, offering my audience an extra 10% off. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use the promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson, promo code Carson.
That 6,600 non-citizens were mistakenly registered to vote there from 2023 to 2024. 400 of them actually voted in elections since then. It is a small number compared to the 7 million voters in New Jersey, and there's no evidence that that swayed any election. But this is one of the most significant disclosures of non-citizen registration. Now, Democrats have repeatedly said that non-citizen voting doesn't happen. It happened. Is this a problem?
I think that I continue to have confidence in state and local authorities in making sure that there's going to be a free and fair election in November.
No, he has confidence in Democrats who are in charge of state and local elections and have allowed 250,000 illegals to register to vote in just 4 states, extrapolated to all 50 states. You do the math. I'm not so good at math, but clearly, and by the way, this wasn't a software glitch. The software company says, no, bullcrap, you guys allowed illegals to register to vote and all of that. Here to joining us to talk about all of these things, one of our favorite guests, of course, is Doug Burns, former federal prosecutor, living in the belly of the beast, New York City, under Mamdani's rule. How are you on this glorious Monday, sir?
Good, sir. How are you?
I'm good. So, Mikey Sherrill gets out in front of the cameras last week, and immediately blames whatever problems it was with illegals voting on Donald Trump. It sounds like she was reacting to Markwayne Mullin and Harmeet Dillon going after these Democrat states that won't give up their voter rolls, and I think we know why.
I think one thing that people missed a little bit here is to identify in our minds why did she step forward with that information. And I don't think you have to be Sherlock Holmes to say that maybe it's much more widespread than the 6,600 and the 400 voters, and she knows that that's coming down the pike. Now, I'm theorizing. You know, I have to be candid. Of course. I don't have a perfect crystal ball, but I'll tell you what. You just said 250,000 in 4 states. So make that 40 states, that's 2.5 million. And then you do the rest of the math. So again, I mean, you know, it's just remarkable how, you know, they lectured everybody how this never happens. How dare you even insinuate that? Then when it's shown that it did happen, they just breathlessly trot out new immediate soundbite and political talking points. Oh, well, it's minuscule. Well, wait a minute. You had elections, particularly on local levels, that were decided by a few hundred votes.
Yes, 100%, 100%. Hell, even in what was it? The year 2000, a national election was decided by a few hundred votes. Give me a friggin' break, Doug. I mean, honestly, thou dost protest too much. The Democrat Party knows that they've been signing up people. Why don't you listen to Elon Musk from when he was the head of Doge, and he had one of his Doge panelists on to talk about the Democrat Party giving illegals Social Security numbers.
There's a strange trend here where how many Social Security numbers were issued? Do you want to?
Yeah. So let me tell you what happened here. We started at the top of the system.
You want to talk about a lot of it?
We started at the top of the system, mapping the whole system of Social Security to understand where all the fraud was. And there's a lot of great people there that showed us really a lot of waste. And so that came up with a big list of stuff they're working on. You've heard some of that already. But this is what jumped out at us. When we saw these numbers, we were like, what is this? In 21, you see 270,000 people, goes all the way to 2.1 million in 24. These are non-citizens that are getting Social Security numbers.
Yeah, this is a mind-blowing chart.
Yeah, this literally blew us away. Like, we went there to find fraud, and we found this by accident. You file a 765, it's the work form. You get this form called the 766, that's the authorization, and then Social Security Administration automatically sends you in the mail your Social Security number. No interview, no ID.
This is worth just reiterating. It's not people sometimes think that under the Biden administration that he was simply asleep at the switch. He wasn't asleep.
No.
They weren't asleep at the switch. It was a massive, large-scale program to import as many illegals as possible, ultimately to change the entire voting map of the United States and disenfranchise the American people.
And this is why they had Elon Musk as a Nazi protest and drove him out of Doge.
Well, yeah, I mean, the point is, you take Musk, you know, brilliant guy, et cetera, et cetera. You know, they shout him down hysterically, try to tear him down hysterically. Just absolutely ridiculous. But I'll tell you what, I always default back to that thing about how, you know, the American public's like a jury. That's why I've argued to you that, they reelected President Trump because they rejected all of the lawfare in that instance. And right now, I'm telling you right now, Rob, they're rejecting this nonsense about you don't need an ID to vote. They're rejecting that because they know full well that if they walk in a bank or motor vehicles, they're going to need an ID. And then they're rejecting all of this other newfangled nonsense. They're just not accepting it, in my opinion. And now it'll be interesting to see, and I'm not, the legislative, procedure expert, but it'll be interesting to see whether the SAVE Act actually can be passed.
Yeah, let's also talk about, you're in the belly of the beast in New York City. There were anti-Mamdani protests in New York City. It sounds like things are really heating up there. You have Mamdani said that he wanted to have Bibi Netanyahu arrested. Now he is calling for protests when Bibi Netanyahu is in town. I think he wants to foment some sort of violence because the people who respond to that, generally those who are anti-Semitic and the left, respond in such a fashion. What's the possibility of a Mamdani being removed from office or a recall? And then what's the feeling in New York City with regard to this mayor? Because it sounds like things are really backfiring on him.
That's a great question because you go right to, removal. But I'll go ahead a little bit and then work backwards. Going ahead to the next election cycle, I've been saying that people are going to wake up and people are going to show up. I think I might have told you that last week even. And the fact of the matter is that people like Mamdani get elected largely because people are, apathetic. They're busy at work. Oh, who's that guy? Oh, yeah, he looks nice. Okay, I'll vote for him. But now that it is emerging how anti-Semitic he is, how anti-Israel he is, and so on, apparently this is the second largest Jewish population on the face of the planet behind Israel.
Yeah.
Right. So I think people are going to come out and take him out of office at the election box. Now, not avoiding your other point, Bruce Blakeman, who is the county executive of my beloved Nassau County. I mention that because I'm from Nassau County my whole life, and relatively recently, moved into Manhattan. But the point is, I'm from, South Shore of Long Island, Nassau County. Blakeman is running against Kathy Hochul, as you well know. If he wins, hey, anything could happen. He could remove Mamdani. It's very possible, and I'm not sure necessarily on a recall if Blakeman doesn't win. I'm not optimistic, but I'm optimistic. Maybe I'm crazy that this guy will lose the next election cycle.
I hope so. He also talked about his government-run grocery stores, which he says they're going to operate at 30% less than an average grocery store. The median, I think the margin of grocery store is like 3%. It will go immediately bankrupt, and you've got to wait 3 years for your grocery store to be built. It is going to be an absolute face plant. We will go ahead.
I'll tell you something, though. Sorry to interrupt you, but here's the point. I mean, I've read stories over the years about people from communist countries, women and so forth, not to single out women, but who had gone into American grocery stores and basically sort of almost broke down weeping just at the grandiosity of what's available. We all take that for granted, which we should not, of course, obviously. But the fact of the matter is, government-run grocery stores, that's a totally disgraceful idea in this unbelievably bountiful, amazing country.
Yeah, and it's going to take 3 years to open the damn stores. They'll go bankrupt within a month. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
103.9 FM in Harford County.
Is that the New York City and the New York State boards of elections have no idea if Mamdani won the mayoral. I actually don't know whether Mamdani won the mayoral race, and I'm not here to say that he didn't.
That is actually not the soundbite I wanted. I was actually looking for Sid Rosenberg calling Mamdani a terrorist, which had to light up the entire city when he said that on Fox News. Doug Burns, a former federal prosecutor, did you see Sid? I got a chance to meet Sid at the Talkers. I was like, you know what? It's about damn time that that New Yorkers, that he sounded like an authentic New Yorker after 9/11, and we've been pushed around and we've been told that we've got to, suck it up, and we were, you can't just be suspicious of radical Islam and all this crap. And he finally just said, you know what? I think he's a terrorist. He doesn't put a bomb vest on. Was it appropriate? I don't know, but I don't know. I like Rosenberg.
Three things in life are certain: death, taxes, and Sid sounds like a New Yorker. But no, he's great. I love Sid Rosenberg. I've been listening to him for years. I don't know him. I never met him.
Oh, he's great.
I would like to meet him.
He's a great guy.
No, I'm glad, as you just said. You have other figures, too, speaking out, like Michael Rappaport, the comedian and actor, has been speaking out pretty intelligently, in my opinion, on some of these similar issues. And, again, broken record, point to cement home. The Jewish population here, where I'm standing in Manhattan, must wake up and must show up.
Yeah, they're also afraid because last week there was a stabbing of two people. One was Jewish. The guy said Allahu Akbar, and I think people are just damn done with it. I said this, Doug. I've been saying this for years. I said, homeboys, hillbillies, and Hebrews, we're going to have to get together if the authorities won't do it, and we're going to have to kick some serious butt.
Yeah, no, I mean, I understand that sentiment, but this guy Mamdani, I find it just completely bizarre.
Yeah.
I kind of slept through the election myself. I obviously didn't vote for him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't vote for him in a million years. But, he got lucky in the sense that, once somebody gets tagged as a so-called disgraced politician, I'm talking about Andrew Cuomo, that carries a lot of baggage. If Andrew Cuomo, and I told you this, just in a wild classroom hypothetical, had left the governorship all in good standing and for whatever, inexplicable reason was willing to run for mayor, he would have won in a goddamn landslide.
Yeah,
but everybody, I had really intelligent people looking at me like, but I can't vote for Cuomo. And I remember saying to myself, man, don't you understand the lesser of two evils?
Yeah, I understand 100%. Federal judge strikes down Illinois laws giving illegal aliens in-state tuition, financial aid, and scholarships, deals major blow to Pritzker's sanctuary state agenda. This is U.S. District Judge David Dugan ruling with common sense to say, what the hell are you doing to American citizens' kids who might be out of state?
Well, I hope he's not related to Hannah Dugan.
Yeah, no kidding.
No, but joking aside, no, that's good. That's all good stuff. I mean, Pritzker and the clown in California.
Oh, yeah, Newsom, yeah.
Yeah, who I love how the president calls him Newscum.
Of course.
And he did it even at the Correspondents dinner the other night. But no, joking aside, these people, again, are on 80-20 type of hills. I don't understand how they exist on those hills. I'm deeply troubled, though, by the way, when I read reports about how this far-left person and that far-left person, won a primary. But again, I discount it because the turnout numbers are, wildly low.
I think you're going to...
The fact of the matter is, I don't understand how they want to give illegal aliens, free tuition and free this and free that. And a lot of it is blowing up in their faces, completing the circle back to where we started, right back to New Jersey, where, illegal aliens, 400 of them voted, no matter how you want to spin it, Hakeem.
Yeah, well, they blew up their talking point completely, which was ridiculous in the first place. Jennifer Siebel, Gavin Newsom's wife, there were people around her wearing wires, gathering information. I think she could be in a lot of hot water. Because his chief of staff resigned and admitted to wrongdoing, and a pretty big investigation has been going on since the Biden administration. Do you think that he and his wife are in trouble?
Yes, I think that could blow up quite candidly. I'm not, specifically predicting that, and I'm not, being wishy-washy, but I'm just telling you, from what I read even just tangentially or preliminarily. I definitely think there's some exposure there on financial transactions, on tax issues, and so forth. And, you know, he's sort of like a Teflon political figure, but he actually could take hits. We'll see.
One more thing, Doug. This weekend I had my first pedicure of my entire life. My daughter convinced me to do. Let me just ask you, as a manly man that you are, do you partake in pedicures?
I have had 2 pedicures in my life. No, seriously.
Yeah, and I tell you what, it was pretty damn awesome.
I enjoyed it. My wife cajoled me twice into doing it, and it's actually a couple of years back already. And, you know, it is nice. But joking aside, I go to a regular foot doctor for that.
Yeah, I had a really cute Vietnamese girl massaging my feet, and
nice.
and Hunter Biden pays a lot more than that. So
I'm not touching that with Robert.
I appreciate you. Doug Burns, thanks, man. Have a glorious rest of your week. We'll talk again soon.
Thank you.
All right, let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. It was really good. It was really good, this pedicure. It was pretty cool. And, I mean, she must, it would look like, I bet it probably looked like somebody was, you know, when they bring that Parmesan grinder to your table at Olive Garden, you know. That's probably what it looked like down there. Anyway, hello, guys. How are you? Hope you're enjoying the show today. Oh, what a weekend, what a weekend, what a weekend, what a weekend, what a weekend. Oh, my God. Oh, the Cracker Barrel CEO got fired. According to Newsmax. Let me look this up. Hold on one second. Cracker Barrel CEO fired. I think I just saw that. Fired by America. Wow. Cracker Barrel. That's kind of good. That's good news. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, I'll mention that in the last break here. Let's see who's talking today. Sport Tech Valentina. Somebody alerted me to a troll earlier, and I got rid of them. DC42, good to see you. Good to see you. Beck Ottenberry. Lady Vu. Hiya, Rob. Hello, right back at you. Jamie Billett. How's things on your end? Leslie Lady Hawk. Scott Davies. Maynard Wright. Trump will let them. He is for Israel, not for Americans. What is that, Maynard Wright? What are you talking about? Trump will let them. He is. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't be trolly on me. I'll get rid of you. I'll get rid of you. Quick as snot. However quick that is, I don't even know if that's quick. All right, what am I going to do next here? Hold on. Got to figure out what I'm going to do next. I told you the Democrat Party's in a civil war. They are, and it's getting bigger. It's getting bigger because the panic is starting to spread. Here is Rahm Emanuel saying that Bernie Bros, a.k.a. the Democratic Socialists of America, are going to kill the Democrats' chances at the midterms.
Mayor Emanuel, what's your response to Democrats who say, hey, the progressives, the Bernie Bros, they're the ones bringing all the energy to the Democratic Party right now?
No. Well, look, I would say this. Look, this election cycle is setting up exactly like 06. Very unpopular war, very unpopular war. You have...
Not very unpopular, just with Democrats who've said that it's a disaster since day one, because they don't want to see a free Iran happen with Donald Trump as the president.
In corruption, like under Tom DeLay, like under Abu Ghraib, and then you have corruption here under Donald Trump.
No, there's no corruption. Nothing compared to Joe Biden. Give me a friggin' break. Give me an example.
On Donald Trump and the corruption, and also very unpopular war. Also, in the summer of 06, gas had hit record prices, and you're seeing that.
Still not as high as it was when Joe Biden was the president.
We recruited a bunch of candidates that took national security, the cultural issues off the table, and made it about prosecuting always George Bush and the corruption around the administration in a very unpopular war. Here, the distraction from the Democratic Socialists actually adds a weight, and the party doesn't have a deep bench of support. You want this to be totally about Donald Trump, his corruption in this war.
He's not corrupt, by the way, and the wars are going to be over by then. But he's very concerned, obviously. Here is Hakeem Jeffries being asked about how Bernie Sanders is literally campaigning against Democrat candidates and Hakeem Jeffries.
You, according to my colleague Manu Raju, have clashed with Senator Bernie Sanders over the fact that he is campaigning for progressive candidates, some of whom are challenging incumbents you back, including members of the Congressional Black Caucus. Are Senator Sanders and other progressives in the party making it harder for you to win in November? Is that what you said to Senator Sanders?
No, I wouldn't describe it as a clash. It was a candid conversation along with Congressman Greg Meeks to chair the Congressional Black.
Oh, it's major. It's major. I had quoted earlier, there's an article in the New York Times about how the Democrat Party is absolutely broken, bankrupt. They have no money. They're $2 million in debt. Donald Trump has a $400 million war chest. The Republican Party has $138 million. And that's not it. And this lean into Democrat socialism, and I'm usually good at predicting this stuff. I'm not saying I'm right all the time, but a good share of the time. I have a feeling there's going to be a movement here pretty soon with some Democrats saying we've got to get rid of the Democrat socialists in the party. They can't remain in the party. So that's kind of where I think things are going next. But there's a lot of just ridiculous things happening out there. You've got this ridiculous race in Michigan. You got this ridiculous race in Maine now. The Maine Democrat Party has come up with another idiot who was Troy Jackson. Here's Troy Jackson today.
Because we're not from the left, we're not from the right, we're from the bottom, and we are rising.
Yeah, this is a metaphor. It's from the bottom of the barrel. The Democrat Party is scraping from the bottom of the barrel. That's going to do it for the show today, guys. Thank you so much. We had our first on-camera, in-studio guest with James Rosen. It's only going to get bigger and better right now on Newsmax. Donald Trump in Milford, Michigan. Might want to check that out. God bless you, America's founded Donald Trump, our troops kicking butt in Iran. And until tomorrow, which just happens to be Tuesday, do not catch the stupid. I love you guys. See ya.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.